Hi, I thought I'd add a little bit more information about my book, and I'm going to read the insight number 14 for you today. We see the world as we expect to see it. More often than not, we see things and people as we have always seen them. This is why people will miss changes which may be subtle until they're blindingly obvious. Every day we're bombarded with an enormous amount of sensory information. In order to function in the world, our brains learn to ignore thousands of these sensory messages, only focusing on the things which seem to be most important. We can notice this when we go somewhere new, and there's so many things to see and hear that it fills us with wonder and amazement. After we have been back to that place many times, we don't really see or notice anything, as it has become known to our senses, and our brain largely ignores it. Then we have plenty of brain power to focus on tasks or conversations, and so on. So when something happens or something changes, you might not be aware of it immediately. You've probably had the experience of knowing that something has changed, but you're not quite sure what it was. If your friend has a haircut, for example, it may or may not be immediately obvious to you because you're just used to your friend, however he or she may be. Partly this is because you've stopped looking and noticing. Perhaps it's you who've changed. Maybe you've lost weight, for example, and you've been surprised how many people haven't noticed. It's not that they don't care. It's often because they are your friends and they accept you for you, and they're just used to you as you've been. Their brain doesn't take in the small or make the small changes matter enough to notice. Sometimes the difference has to be dramatic before their brain allows them to notice. The same can be said of looking after someone with dementia. You can become so used to dealing with them as they have been that if the changes are slow and subtle, it's not always immediately obvious that you need to respond to them a little differently. In general, we see the world as we're used to seeing it and how we believe it to be, whether this is physically with our eyes or with our emotions. For example, if you've been told that dogs are dangerous, or you have in the past had a scary experience with a dog, then you could believe and see all dogs as dangerous. With this fear in place within you, dogs evoke that fear every time you see one. This can bring about exactly what you fear, as dogs will sense your fear and will sometimes react to it, and you could create exactly what you fear. Living with a greater awareness allows you to see the is-ness of every situation. You can respond accordingly, appropriately, and with a greater sense of generosity to yourself and to others. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please see the link attached to this little video and share it, please. And certainly click the link to order the book in whole. You'll find it interesting, funny, eye-opening, and generally it's a good read. So thanks for listening today. Bye.